Indeed, let's get ready for September 2nd when Sam Houston visits Lavelle Edwards Stadium for the first time ever, and the Bearcats take on the BYU Cougars to kick off the 2023 BYU football season. Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation. We are live in Studio B alongside Jason Shepard. I am Spencer Linton. Happy Friday to all of you, and a happy Friday to Bronson Kaufusi, who is back with us in the Cougar Council Room. Bronson, what's a typical Friday for you like in August before the football gets going?
For the football gets going? Well, it's a lot different now, right, than it was. But this morning I went out and played a little golf with Ziggy.
With Ziggy Ansah?
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay.
So we're out there trying to learn a new game.
Okay, so you and Ziggy are both, you consider yourselves new to the game, okay?
Yes.
Say, who won today? Or were you even, like, competing?
Well, we were on the same team.
Okay.
And we, I guess, both lost. We had fun, though.
You could say that in golf, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you said that as a professional football player, it's like, well, we both lost, but we had fun.
I know, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, you said it. Like, it's different than what these days used to be for you. For those of us who have never gone through a fall camp, because you've done it on the college level, you've done it at the NFL level, what's this time of year like getting ready for football?
Man, this time of year is so focused on just what's next that your mindset as an athlete during especially fall camp, training camp is just, you're just there for the next meeting, literally the next lift, the next practice, the next, and your mind is so, funneled down to right now, what's in front of it, that you're just going one thing at a time, honestly.
Does that help sort of simplifying it that way? Because you really don't have time to think about anything else.
Definitely, because you really want your mind to be on that practice so you can get better. Because you know the games are going to come no matter what, and you don't want to be too far ahead in the future, but you really want to be, locked in then trying to pick up, that last bit of sharpening your skill set for that first game. And then it kind of shifts, from training camp into the season mode where now you're just staying healthy. But training camp, fall camp, you are out there really focused on your skill set, what you do great, and being ready to bring it to the table.
Let's give BYU fans a little bit of perspective when it comes to not just working on your own skill set and like the physical attributes that you want to perfect, but where does the playbook and the understanding of your defense and opposing offenses, like how does that balance through training camp? Like how much of that is integrated into actual camp?
You know what? You are spending more time in the film room versus the field.
Really? In training camp?
In training camp.
Really?
You're only on the field for maybe like the longest practice I think you'll have is like 2.5 hours. And then you have a walkthrough in the evening, or a lighter practice, but you're there in the morning at 6 a.m., you're getting your workout in early, then you go to practice, or you have meetings for a few hours, then you go to practice, then you have more meetings, then you have a walkthrough, and you go to more meetings. So It's a lot of meeting time because you have a lot of young guys, you're trying to build your depth. Like from the coaching side, it's like, okay, we got to make sure where if someone goes down, we got to be able to bring in the number 2 guy, number 3 guy, and they got to be ready to play just in case that happens. But we all know, people are going to get hurt.
Okay, so I guess, to clarify, this is not something where they're like, all right, we've worked on all the physical attributes, we're going through the actual practice, now go home and watch film. A lot of that film study is done in group scenarios, in meetings, during training camp days.
Yes, in meetings, during training camp days. And it's nice, too, because everyone is there. And where in the NFL, you're all, same thing in college, but in the NFL, you're staying at a college campus or you're at a hotel with everyone.
Yeah.
You're all there. And so it's like, and football is it. So you are doing it all day, every day. You are studying everything. Because they unload the entire playbook during training camp. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to take everything and use it. They might take a very small percentage of everything, but they are going to cover everything just so when it does come up during the season, you're somewhat familiar. So they're trying to touch the entire playbook, even though you don't even, use anywhere close to that thing during the game and during the season.
It sounds like studying for a final. Okay, we want you to study all of this material, and then we're going to ask you 10 questions, but you don't know where the questions are going to be, right?
Exactly. It really is it.
It all comes back to taking finals in school.
Yeah.
You can never get away from it, can you?
Nope. You're always flashcards. You're doing the whole thing.
Here's the biggest question, though. But do you still have to pay attention to math? Is math part of that?
Well, kind of.
Angles?
Oh, no.
Pursuit angles,
no.
drills?
Well, you know what's crazy? So I graduated in statistics, right? Analytics, and the way a call sheet is built for a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, it goes, there's one column, first down, and 10. Then you have second down and like 8 to 10, 7 to 10, second down and 1 to 3, and then it goes into all the way up to third down, fourth down, and then field position. So you have percentages of what to call, and that's how they're actually going down
analytics
and making their calls. Yeah, it's really interesting.
So anyone that thinks that you just if you're going to be an athlete, you don't have to worry about studying or math. We're debunking that right now.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Definitely are.
Okay, so in our last segment, Spencer and I were talking about the unfortunate news that BYU is going to be without starting safety Micah Harper. How big of a loss is that for this defense?
Oh, it's a huge loss. It's a huge loss, honestly, because I know, has a presence, and it's hard to replace that presence of a player like that, because with presence comes leadership. With presence, when adversity hits, that presence is still strong.
Yes.
And people follow.
To follow up on that, it's a guy that when he's on the field, if you're looking at him and you're his teammate, you just feel better. Like, he's on the field like, okay, we're okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I like that you used the word presence, because I think that's totally an accurate descriptor of Micah Harper.
Yeah, I think he has a huge presence, and I think he is going to be, without him, now you have to, and this is one thing I love about football, though, is, you have to keep moving forward. So you can't control everything, but, okay, we lost an incredible leader, physical player, presence. Okay, who's next? Who's going to now step up? Who's going to take advantage? Because right now we have maybe 2 weeks of worth of practices right around there, and the coaches are saying, this is it. Like, let's see who's going to step up, and so that's going to be exciting actually to watch, is who is going to be the one that gets into that role and comes in and like really takes it over, and someone will. Yeah, it's just a matter of time to see who steps up. Yeah, they have to.
Bronson Kaufusi is with us on BYU Sports Nation. I guess my follow-up question to this is, and you can go off of your own personal experience with injuries that you've unfortunately dealt with in your career on and off, but what's the toughest part of handling an injury like Micah has, and the time required to heal, and like the mentality behind all of that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is the toughest thing when it comes to injuries as an athlete, especially when you're at the peak. And the hardest thing is loneliness. So you get separated from the team because your schedule, just like that, switches. The team continues with their schedule, and now you come in and everything slows down just out of nowhere. And now you're in the training room most of the time, and you're done earlier, and now you're taking on a completely different role. And now what's cool about Micah being a leader is he's going to be able to now take that time to train up the next players.
Okay.
He's going to be able to watch film with everyone who's going to be able to fill his role. So he'll still be able to lead and give back in a way. But it is so tough when you're by yourself in the training room, or by yourself on the underwater treadmill, just by yourself in there. It's so different, so different.
One of the things that we're all going to be paying attention to this year is the defensive side. You have a new defensive coordinator, you have a new scheme. Everybody's excited about the possibilities on that side of the football. One of the things that gets talked about a lot on the defensive side is applying more pressure on the quarterback, just more pressure in general. You've experienced that before. What's the key to putting more pressure on the offense?
Man, there's so many different things and different attributes and angles. But first, from a scheme standpoint, I'm thinking, okay, you want to create as many one-on-ones, mismatches as possible. Now this defense, it's a one-gap defense, so they're going to be attacking upfield first. So being able to create those one-on-ones, a lot of blitzing is going to take place. But then also, it comes down to the players being able to win those one-on-ones and those opportunities, because they're going to be able to pin their ears back and just go. And I know they're excited about it. I've talked to some of them, and I always loved that too.
Yeah.
Like, I loved being able to, like, I knew when we got into that defensive front that I was going to be able to just go. And so, and some of the other fronts, it's different, but this front that, our base front this year is going to be very attack first, very aggressive. And I know, the coaches on the defensive side of the ball, that's the mentality that they have. So it's really nice as a player to be able to do that.
In the words of Jay Hill, let the big dogs eat.
That's right.
Okay, it is time. Okay, a couple of quick hitters before you go, Bronson. Number one, I don't know if you're aware, but the team up north has now put themselves in position to join the Big 12 Conference with BYU in 2024. How does this affect the Kaufusi family? Because you're on both sides of it.
Oh, man. It's going to be good on game day, that's for sure. We're going to separate everything. No, we're pretty, we love the rivalry, because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, I think I've only missed like 3 of them in over like 30 years.
Wow.
And the ones that we've had,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And I've seen them all or been there. And so I love that rivalry. And I am so happy that now they're in the conference. Yeah. And that rivalry is going to be reborn. And it's going to be so intense. And kind of like how it was when I was growing up.
Yes.
And I'm excited for that. I love that. And, I was thinking about it. I was like, man, you know what? We should do an alumni, them
football
versus
game.
us, and maybe pick up basketball.
Okay, not
pickleball.
football.
There's not football. But
we were just talking about injuries a minute ago. We may just want to stay away from that.
Probably true. Probably true.
Okay, last quick hitter. All you have to do is give me a number. With your blue goggles on, but still like a realistic filter. Is that possible in the blue goggles?
Not with the blue goggles.
Okay.
Realism goes out the door once that's on.
Okay, I'm going to just balance it as much as you can with it. Try and keep it realistic, but a little blue gogglish. What's the number of wins BYU picks up this year? Realistic best case scenario.
Best case scenario.
Yes.
I'm going to say 8. 8
would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
8-4 in the regular season would be incredible.
Yes.
All right.
Best case.
Bronze, let's go, man.
We got it.
8's the number of the day. 8 was your average score on a hole for golf this morning.
That's true. Together. We can sing it together.
Oh, thanks for coming in, brother. Great stuff. We appreciate the time.
Yeah. Thanks, Bronson.